I haven't had a car in about a year. Before that, I had two. Unfortunately, I sold both of my vehicles that were fully paid off, sold them, and put that money together to purchase a car that I thought, was going to be able to help me with my credit. That is not what happened, though. Unfortunately, that car gave me problems after the first 30 days. This is the reason why I'm very weary about buying cars from dealerships now, because that car literally, right outside of the 30-day mark, it started having issues. There was something wrong with all types of stuff on it. And although I went back to the dealership and they were supposed to help me with all of these things, I would fix one thing and then something else would go wrong. And so I put all of this money into this car within 6 months. Like the last 30 days, I put in brakes, like fuses, I got a complete tune-up, like all of these things. And I went to go pick it up from the mechanic, and as I'm driving it home, all the lights on the dashboard started flashing. My foot is on the gas, but I'm not going anywhere. And then it just stopped in the middle of the fucking street. Thankfully, I was close to a parking lot, so I was able to pull into the parking lot. And I had a full tank of gas where I went to the mechanic, when I dropped it off at the mechanic. When I picked it up from the mechanic, I had 3/4 of a tank of gas. I didn't even go 4 miles and I was on E. I knew something was wrong. I called the mechanic. Mechanic is like, no, it should be good. It should be good. And so I sent him a video because I had got tired of people telling me when I go to it's like when you go to the doctor, like how if you take a kid to the doctor, all of a sudden the kid is fine. That's how my car would act. It would act up with me, but the minute I take it to a mechanic, oh, ain't nothing wrong with it. All right, cool. So I took a video, thankfully, when the lights and stuff had started flashing and I pulled into the yard, I took into the driveway. I took a video and I sent him the video and he was like, I don't know why he's doing that. All right, I'm gonna come and get you. So him and his son, they come and get me. I actually ended up having to drive that car back to the mechanic shop. Scared the piss out of me. I'm on less than 1/4 of a tank. That's, to me, anything less than 1/4 of a tank is E. So I'm basically on E, and I'm trying to floor it. I could literally have my hazard lights on. I'm driving 15, not even 20 miles an hour, 4 miles. Come to find out, it was the computer. The computer on the car was done. I had it. I was it. That was the cherry on the cake. Might as well kick the cake into a ditch because I'm done. I called the people. I told them to come get their car. So I've been without a vehicle. And it has been very difficult, especially trying to get to the grocery store to go grocery shopping. As someone who has pain because I was hit by a car, and I've gone back and forth to therapy. I have arthritis in certain places. I have carpal tunnel in my wrist, all of this stuff from this accident. And so when I decided, okay, I'm gonna give them their car back, I didn't factor in that the people that I was closest to would not give me a ride to the store unless it was like pulling teeth. That being said, I understand everybody lives their own life. Everybody has their own things to do, and I am responsible for myself. And so therefore, I don't complain. I just go do what I gotta do. Unfortunately, I am on public transportation right now. And I've been on public transportation for about a year now. And I have never, in in the year that I've been riding the bus, seen somebody refuse to move for a wheelchair. You want to piss me off? Mess with kids and mess with the elderly or the disabled, and you're going to get it. You're going to get a whole mouthful, okay? So the bus driver today, he asks this guy to move. And the guy was like, no. Everybody on the bus looked at him like, can you not read? Like, the sign says that these particular seats are for the elderly and disabled. And because it's wheelchair accessible, and it's the only 2 places on the whole bus that is wheelchair accessible, you have to move for those people. This mofo said no. The guy in front of me was like, what the hell? The lady sitting to my right was like, oh, nah. So maybe, man, she's an elderly lady. She gets up and she moves so that the lady in the wheelchair could get on the bus. This man, out of everybody, I didn't even say nothing. Out of everybody on the bus who was talking smack, he looks at me. Mind you, I have a mask on, right? Because I wear my mask in public. My daughter is high risk. I do still wear my mask. I ain't got time to be getting her sick. He looks at me and goes, I'm Italian. The hell is that supposed to mean? If you don't get your ass up, yo, I didn't have nothing to do with it. But since you wanted to bring me in it, you know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So I said what I had to say, and then he said something, and I was already at that point because I knew the old me would sit here and go back and forth with you, and then I'ma sit right next to you because you're trying to take up 2 seats. It's a 3-seater. You're trying to take up 2 seats. I would have sat right next to him just to piss him off. I'm not that me. I took myself to the back of the bus. I was like, I'm not even about to engage. I already said what I had to say. You shouldn't have looked at me and said nothing. So I go and I sit in the back of the bus. The lady gets on the bus in the chair. She gets on the bus, and it's one of those electrical chairs. So she's moving it around. She's trying to get into her space so that the bus driver can hook her up. And I guess he said something to her, because all I know is she went off. She went off on that man. Everybody in the front of the bus was going off on this man, and I'm just sitting there with my mask on, minding my business. Because here's the thing. I'm not gonna play with you. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And I know how my mouth get. My mouth get real reckless. At one point in my life, I did not have no filter. And I would say whatever I wanted to say. I didn't care how people felt about it. Like, it was just word vomit. It would just come spewing out, and I couldn't stop it. Now that I have reformed, I'm not about to play with you. I said what I said. You said what you said. I said what I said, and we're gonna leave it at that. Now, you want to keep talking? That's gonna be on you, not on me. Whatever happens. All right. So the lady is cussing this man out. The people that are sitting around him cussing him out. The bus driver was like, "Hey, everybody got to calm down, because if you don't calm down, we can't move." Everybody was like, "All right." So they all get quiet, and then he's sitting up there mumbling about who knows what. But the lady turned and she said, "If you don't shut the F up, I'ma spit on you." I was like, I can't even be mad at this old lady, because she's in the right, because he's up there talking smack to her, like, and she can't defend herself. And it took everything in me to just sit in my seat and not say nothing. I didn't need to say anything. Everybody in the front of the bus had it. Like, they was handling it. You know what I'm saying? But when I see injustice like that, when I see things like that, when it comes to the elderly, the children, and the disabled, oh, it boils my blood, because those folks, they're not able to defend themselves. But baby, I had to woosah. I turned my music up because I always ride with my headphones in and I mind my business. I was not subscribing to the drama. I could see it. I couldn't hear it after I put in my headphones, because after she said I spit on you, I put my other headphone in because I was like, nope, I'm not even. And if the bus driver has to stop this bus, I'm going to get off and walk to where I'm going. And it's just, to me, it's the audacity. You have the nerve to feel like you're entitled because you're Italian. What does that mean? Nothing. It means absolutely jackpot nothing, because you're on the same bus as everybody else. You're not driving your car. Where's your car at? You're on the same bus with everybody else, but for whatever reason, you feel entitled. Lord have mercy. These folks, I'm telling you, I'm so glad that I am not the person that I used to be, because the person that I used to be would have cussed him out and would not have cared if I got kicked off the bus. Whew. Today has been an interesting day. Today has been an interesting day. There is something in the air, because that was not the only situationship on the bus, right? But then I go to the grocery store after my appointment, and the lady comes over to me. I asked her for like a produce bag, because I didn't really want to put what I had inside the paper bag and that be that. I wanted to put it in a produce bag and then put it in a paper bag, because I was walking in on the bus. If the bag tears, at least it's in something else, because it was supposed to rain. So I'm checking out. I asked the lady to give me a bag. She hands me a bag, and then she goes, yeah, people seem to think that our bags are free. I'm like, huh? She goes, nothing. Like, okay. So the guy that was in self-checkout, apparently he took a bag and didn't pay for it. So as she walks the opposite way, he walks past me and he looks at me and he starts talking. Mind you, I done put my headphones back in. I don't know what he was saying. So I took my headphones. I was like, huh? And he goes, yeah, she said that to you, but she won't say it to me. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, playing dumb, because I don't subscribe. So he walks out. Well, he walks to the door, but he doesn't leave. She walks over and she says to me, what did he say? And I was like, that you said it to me, but you wouldn't say it to him. But I don't know what happened, so I'm completely lost. And she was like, oh, well, he took the bag and da-da-da-da. And she was like, but he heard me though. That's the point. And I'm like, okay. So I check out and then I realize that I forgot something. So I had to go back. I grab it. And as I'm checking out again, he's still at the door. She done went over and said something to him. Went back, printed out his receipt. And was walking over like, yeah, you said you paid for what? He walked out the door. It was her and two managers over a 99-cent bag. Though the price of the bag is not the point. The point is you stole something. You know you stole something. And instead of just giving up the $1.06, whatever, $1.70 that it's going to cost, you go and you talking junk about the manager because she's only doing her job. Like, oh my God, what is in the air, y'all? What is in the air? People doing dumb stuff for no reason. Makes no sense. The guy on the bus could have just moved. It doesn't matter what your race or your nationality is. You move. The guy in the store, if you didn't have 99 cents, you shouldn't have took the daggone bag. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Anyways, I got on the bus. I just got on the bus and So I put my headphones in, I'm minding my business, and then I get to my connecting bus stop, and this guy goes, "Didn't I just see you?" It's like, yeah, we was on the same bus. And so we're laughing and kikiing, and this lady walks up with some Krispy Kreme donuts. Now, mind you, I ain't had no Krispy Kreme donuts in a minute, but I'm trying to watch my calories because I have bloated enough due to stress and I don't need no extra pounds. So I'm trying to just stay away from a whole bunch of sweets. But oh my God, Krispy Kreme donuts are the bomb. So we're talking about the donuts and he's talking about, I think it was Eddie Murphy. He was like, "I got some and you can't have none," whatever his little skit was when he was in a red jumpsuit. And so we're laughing, kikiing. And this lady walks over. She's crossing the street. She got a whole attitude. I'm like minding my business, and she's yapping. And I just looked at him and I put my headphone back in. And then the bus came, and I came home because I was like, there is too much going on. Y'all got too much going on. Y'all are doing too much. I don't have time for none of this. So let me know if like people that you've encountered have been overly aggressive or just doing stupid stuff around you, because it just seems to be in the air. That being said, my day has overall been great. But it's funny because had I not forgot my tortillas when I went to the grocery store this morning, I wouldn't have never had to go back and I wouldn't have encountered any of that. But I forgot my tortillas and it's enchilada night. And so I was like, well, instead of just changing, which I know I could have done, I could have just changed the menu for this weekend. But I didn't want to do that because I kind of had it set out because I have court Tuesday and I don't want to like buy a whole bunch of food to put in the house. And yeah, so I was like, nah, I want my enchiladas. My heart was set on enchiladas. So I went to the store and I got my tortillas for my enchiladas. It is what it is. Oh my goodness. The craziness. That is crazy. That is sad. Like, why are you walking around upset with the world? The world did not do this to you. Whatever is going on in your life didn't happen to you. It happened because of the set and series of choices that you made. I went through that today because I decided that I wanted to go and I needed to go and get my blood drawn. So for a doctor's appointment. So I had to do that today. But outside of that, I didn't have to be out there. I chose to be out there. And so what we go through or what we encounter is like, we can't do anything about it because it's other people. It's the environment that you're in and the people that you're around. But like, I'm just wondering, like, why, if you're unhappy, why make everybody else around you miserable? If you just, misery loves company. That's it. Because misery loves company, and people like to be pissed off, and you know what, at the end of the day, it's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on. And if you want to walk around and spend your life being pissed off about something and decide that you want to piss somebody else off because you're pissed off, I mean, that to me, it doesn't make any logical sense. But you know what? Misery loves company, and that is the only explanation that I can come up with, because the shenanigans that I saw today was absolutely ridiculous. That being said, I meet with my mentor in a little bit, and I am still coming up with answers for her as far as like what my immediate plans are. I have looked at some places where I'm going, and I have looked at some jobs, and granted, I have not had a 9-to-5 job in 9-to-5 job like not 5 or 6 years, because once I started my business, like I was doing my business, there was no working a 9-to-5 job. So at this point, I'm like very skeptical about getting a 9-to-5 job. And I'm not sure how it's going to work out. Because the neurospiciness, if you're neurospicy, you know. It just, the 9-to-5 jobs don't really work out for some of us. Some people, some neurospicy people, they can hold down a job. But there are neurospicy people like me who just cannot do that. And so I'm hoping that this goes well. And so I'm just going to keep looking. That being said, I'm going to go and make my enchiladas and finish folding up clothes and washing clothes and drying clothes and figuring out what's being given away and what's staying. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye. Oh, it's raining. See? Right on time.